17 minutes after the hour, a Fox News alert. Overnight, the girlfriend of the Las Vegas shooter arriving back in the United States.
Marilou Danley, now considered a person of interest and met by the FBI down on the tarmac when she got off the plane. The big question now, what does she know and how will she impact this investigation? Here to weigh in on this is attorney and Harvard Law School professor and the author of the book that's right here on the set with us. It's called Trumped Up. Here's your book, Mr. Alan Dershowitz. Thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Dershowitz.
Thank you.
So we're wondering, we have so many questions about this girl. How did they, or his girlfriend, how did they lure her to come back to the U.S.? Do they just detain her and say, you're coming, or do they have to talk her into it?
They had to talk her into it. She could have resisted, and I think what they're trying to do is persuade her at this point that she's not a suspect, that she's just a source of information, and that she doesn't need a lawyer, she doesn't have to worry about what she said. If they can keep her as a person of interest, not as a suspect, they'll get a lot more information from her. If she begins to believe that she is a suspect, she's going to get a lawyer. The lawyers are then going to begin to play chess with the government. What do you have for me? What do I have for you? And it will become much harder to get information.
Professor, I don't know anything about her, but just any reasonable person would know that they will be in trouble, because if there's some sense that this guy pre-planned this, and they've been together constantly since then, she has to know fundamentally that she is being looked at by more than just a source.
But here's the way they should play it, and probably they will. They'll say to her, look, we don't think you knew at the time or you were suspicious of him, but now, in retrospect, with the benefit of hindsight, you've now seen the horrible thing he did. You must now remember things that may not have meant anything to you then, but will mean something now. So tell us, did he get any calls from foreign sources? Was he on the internet? All of those kinds of questions.
Where's the money? Where's the $100,000? It didn't necessarily go to her or the tens of thousands prior to that.
We don't know that. Wired to the Philippines. It might have been wired into her.
The sheriff wouldn't answer the question.
Her sister said that she didn't know anything. She was sent away by him at the last minute. He called her and said, I found a cheap ticket to the Philippines for you. The sisters live in Australia. Could her defense be, because we've got the Starbucks employee saying he berated her constantly. He was always talking down to her, saying, I'll pay for your drink just like I pay for you, making her feel terrible. And she would kowtow to him and stand behind him and say, okay. Do you think her defense could be, this guy, clearly this guy is evil, not a good person? Could she say, I was too scared to stand up to him?
Well, I think they're going to use that as leverage. They're going to say, if they have to get to the point where they have to use leverage, they're going to say, look, we can make a case against you. $100,000, that might have been hush money. You had to suspect something. This is months in the planning. But if you completely and fully cooperate with us and tell us everything, stretch your memory, we'll give you a deal.
What would you recommend if she were your client for her to do in that situation?
I hope she doesn't get a lawyer for purposes of getting more and more information. But if I were her lawyer, I'd have to tell her at the moment not to cooperate, to wait until we can make a deal, get formal immunity, both from the federal and state government. If you're a lawyer, you have to look out only for the interests of your client.
Right. Thanks, Professor.
Thank
Thankfully, you're not a lawyer, because we need to get information.